Hey everybody, it's the Chris and Des Show. I'm Chris.
And I'm Des.
And today we're going to do something that we don't usually do because we are likers of
we
things.
do. We
like
to like things.
Yes,
we do.
And we usually like movies. If you get us to not like a movie, then you've done something wrong.
You really messed
That's
up.
what I'm
if
saying.
we don't like your movie,
You done mess up, Aaron. That's the truth about it.
Stop.
Little Key and Peele there for you.
Oh, man, that's funny.
But we have three movies. We have three movies we agreed on are the worst three movies of 2019.
Right.
But we kind of disagreed on the order, so we're going to make two lists.
Right.
Then we want to talk about someone's honorable mentions.
of these bad movies.
Okay. So let's start with the honorable mentions, shall we?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Des has more honorable mentions than I do.
I did not enjoy Missing Link. I don't think that was as... It just, I don't know why it didn't click with me. It was not. And it was animated and everything, and it was Hugh Jackman, right? Wait, who's the voice?
Yeah, I think Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
And I love Hugh Jackman. But I didn't click with that story. I didn't like the animation. I don't know, the humor. It wasn't for me.
I didn't mind it. It wasn't my...
Oh, I have a lot, I guess.
Well, and I will say this. Here's the problem with animated movies, and this is why they got their own category at the Oscars, is that you inherently put them up against each other.
Yeah.
Because they're a similar thing. And
I
didn't dislike Missing Link. I didn't love it, but I loved Frozen 2 and Toy Story 4 and Klaus, and so it was like,
there were just so many that were so good.
Those weren't even close. That wasn't even close to my.
It wasn't good.
Even How to Train Your Dragon was much better as well too.
And then I had Ad Astra on there.
I didn't see it.
That Brad Pitt in outer space movie, not enjoyable. I put Hustlers on there.
I could see how you put that on.
It didn't click with me. I didn't like that so much. I put Waves on there. If you saw that movie, it was two separate storylines.
They're like two movies.
It was kind of two movies. It didn't.
It wasn't
was so slow.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite because it was so slow too. I agree with that.
So slow.
It didn't make my list of least favorite though. But
and then wait. Was there another one?
That's it.
No, that was it. Okay.
And then I had two movies besides my three. I just did not like this live action version of The Lion King. I thought what they did there was kind of like pander to what they thought was going to be popular. Like, I like Beyonce's music. That's my favorite music to dance to. I don't want her to do any more Disney voice acting, if that's okay. And her song she wrote was fine. It didn't really fit into the movie because the rest of the songs were written by Elton John, and they feel like the Lion King movies songs. And then they picked some people who...
Did she write that by herself, or did she write it with Elton John?
Well, she never writes anything by herself. Which
that's what I thought.
But she wrote it with, I think 12 other people or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't think Elton John was part of it, though.
That's what I think. Okay.
So then she was fine. And then some of their voice acting was fine. And some was kind of like, why would you pick that person? Especially when they have to sing and you pick people who can't sing. Now, Beyonce can sing. She's fine. But then there's other people who they pick, you're like, what? You can't find one person in Hollywood who can sing? You can't.
They went for status. They went for high.
You can. That's all.
For names. They wanted name people.
Meryl can sing. She's got a name.
For sure.
Ewan McGregor can sing like crazy. I pick him.
Singing was not the priority.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
That wasn't the priority.
But they also have names too. I just don't. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? And then I know what movie series I don't like. And again, I think it goes back to our animation stuff. Is that I think the How to Train Your Dragon series is so well done. The Kung Fu Panda series.
I was just gonna say I love the Kung Fu Panda series.
It's super fun. The Toy Story. Let's not talk about that. And
Pixar
Frozen
in general.
And Frozen has been great. Both of them. Okay. I did not at all like the first Angry Birds movie. Like 0%. The second one, I will say, was better than the first, but still, just come on. It's so
I didn't
dumb.
even see them because I knew.
Dumb.
I knew.
I will say.
That's how I feel about the Ice Age one.
Oh, don't get me started about Ice Age. But I will say, at least they tried. Like, they added the Tiffany Haddish part, which was really funny. And Tiffany Haddish was great. Like, it wasn't just them on the island, but before the first one was just was miserable, and so the second one was better, I guess. So let's give it some credit. Still, my least favorite animated movie of the year. So that was it. Okay, now our 3 least favorite films.
3 least favorite.
Des,
Good.
what was your third least
My
favorite film?
Third of the 3 is Motherless Brooklyn.
Motherless Brooklyn. It's not good.
It's not good.
It's bad movie.
It was slow. I got his premise of this character being a crime solver, and that could have been good, but it just,
Oh man.
man, it was hard
I
to sit through.
thought-
It was hard to sit through.
I thought it was about 4 or 5 days long. It was bad.
It was a long time
It was
in there.
bad.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. Ed, stick to acting, buddy.
Stick
Okay,
to
huh?
acting, for sure.
My number 3 is The Lighthouse. Here's the thing. I like when we change it up and we're doing black and white. I like
Yeah.
psychological thrillers in
Absolutely.
general. I love
Suspenseful.
Willem Dafoe. Love. Okay, that being said. I don't know. I like weird. I mean, well, I don't like weird. I can take weird much more than Des can take weird, right? This was too far for me. I don't know.
It was.
I don't know. And I read this article too about like how even on set they both were like it was so exhausting and so
I can imagine.
that they can even talk to each
It
other
was
on
so
the set. I'm like,
draining.
guys, if we're ruining
Our
ourselves
lives.
psychologically
Yeah.
to make this movie, I'm all about art, but let's draw the line at we had to be human beings at the end of this too. I don't know. It was just, you know what it was? Here's what it is that it wasn't enjoyable, like not even a little bit enjoyable. It was unenjoyable.
No, it was.
So the whole time you're like,
It was
ugh,
unenjoyable.
why, ugh. Which some people like, oh, I felt like it really moved me. Like I wanted to move out of the theater.
It took so much effort to stay in the room.
So-
Okay, my number 2 is The Lighthouse.
Dun dun.
For all. Oh,
Oh shoot, sorry. Speaking of Lighthouse.
there you got it. For all those same reasons, horrible. It was just
Falling down.
horrible.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Also.
All right, then we agree on the number 1.
And who doesn't? Again, same thing Des said about Motherless Brooklyn. Why? I get it. Edward
You get
Norton
it.
wants to write and direct and act. He's such a good actor. He really is
a
fantastic.
very good actor.
There were
I
so many
wonder-
problems with that story. I
Do you
thought,
know if it made money?
could not have made.
That's
money.
what I'm saying. I don't
There's
think
no
it did.
possible way.
I
I will
hope-
look that up right now.
I would think.
But it was just bad. That's all. The storyline is so convoluted. There are times when you're going, you're like, what?
For me, it was the pacing.
What?
It was just like, what? Huh?
And so both of those are the writer and the director. Sorry, Ed. That was you, buddy.
This one-man guy
It's hard to do all that stuff. It really is.
for a reason.
And then we both agree on the least good movie, the worst movie of the year. Des, what is it?
Cats.
Oh, no.
And I think everyone else agrees with us too. Because it's a joke.
It was a joke.
They make jokes about it on like Saturday Night Live, all these places. It's just a matter of fact that it was a horrible movie. What are we finding
I'm
out?
still looking up. It made about $18 million total. It probably cost at least that to make it and to promote it like they were promoting it. I can only imagine that it did not make money.
Yeah, I
Side
think
note.
it did. Okay.
Another movie that didn't make money. Cats. Here's the thing.
Because you know they spent money on all that stuff, on all that CGI.
So here's the difference between Des and I and Cats. And we talked about this in our Cats review. If you want to go up,
Yeah.
Is that Des comes from the mindset of really liking the musical Cats.
Okay. Now, as a theater, now let's stop talking about the movie and we're talking about theater Cats, okay? That is a thing in the theater world too, that people on the whole don't like Cats in the theater world because of how it is not a through story,
Right.
and it's just song that aren't really connected. That's how it was intended. It's on Book of Poetry.
Right.
I come from it as this was the first show
Right.
that I ever saw as a kid, a professional show. And I fell in love with theater as an art form through this production of this show. I loved all the songs. I got the soundtrack, the DVD, not the DVD, a CD of the I'm not supposed to call it a soundtrack. It's
The cast.
the
Recording,
cast album. Anyway, I wore that thing out. I played it so many times. I knew all the songs. I had everything memorized. I sang at the top of my lungs all of this music, and I loved it. And then they made this movie. Now we're going back to the movie. And it just killed all the love. Killed it.
And then I come from a side of I've seen the musical before. I didn't enjoy it.
You don't
for
connect
those
to
reasons.
It. You don't
Yeah,
connect
and
to it.
I didn't I got in I went and saw it. My wife and I went and saw it when we were I think engaged, so I was like 23 or something like that. So it was not my first.
Sure.
My first live production was The Lion King at the Pantages, and it's a very
Excellent.
different mentality than
Excellent.
Cats. There's a storyline that you already know going in
Yeah.
as well too, any connection to it. And The Lion King is
Phenomenal. That is a phenomenal show.
it's a great show, and so that I have nostalgia of that too.
Right.
We all do
Sure.
in our different areas.
That might be why you dislike the Lion King movie.
Ooh, good one.
so
Look
much.
at connection there, Des.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's not just me. You
Yeah,
have
no, everyone.
sentimentality
Well,
for
no,
this story.
I was just thinking about this too. Is that when we're gonna go sidetrack for a second, but
okay,
this is us.
it's all right.
When Doris Day died last year, I can't tell you. I sat there and thought about it for a second. One thing, I've always loved Doris Day. It's just all humans should. And I've always loved her. But I was like, I didn't realize how sad
Connected.
I could be
Yeah.
that this actress, who I've never met before, have no personal connection to, died. And then I thought about it. When I was young, real little, and getting into movies and musicals and all that kind of stuff, she was the first person whose movies I were like, as you're a little kid and you're getting into old movies. I remember the first time I saw Calamity Jane, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. She's so funny,
For sure.
and she's so the energy she has in a musical.
Yeah,
That's what you need to push this musical through. And then I saw The Pajama Game and Pillow Talk and Send Me No Flowers and The Touch of Ink, and the list goes on and on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this lady.
Right.
And so my connection to her is I love movies, deeply, deeply love movies. It's my way of relaxing and connecting with people and talking. And a big part of that was Doris Day getting me into that. And so I was so sad when she died because my friend Doris, this lady whom I deeply love.
Yeah.
So that sentimentality,
So
I totally
that's
understand.
how I feel about Cats.
And so I totally get that.
This movie, bringing it back around, this movie just was horrible. The performances, even if there was no CGI, the performances were bad. And then the CGI creeped it all out. It just made it so creepy. And if you haven't seen it, do not go see it.
Don't see it.
Go
Watch
try
a
to
cat
find,
outside or something.
Try to find a theater production and
Then
that
judge
will
it off of that.
And judge it off of that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That'll
Right.
be your best
Right.
at this stuff, these songs, this body of work. That's the word
I
was
would
looking for.
argue this. Listen to the soundtrack first. Get to know the soundtrack.
Oh, sure.
Because
sure,
it's
sure.
actually our album,
not
cast
of the
album.
movie,
No,
but of
not
the
of the movie, for
original
goodness sake.
Broadway cast.
Because listen to the cast album because
That'll
all
tell
songs
you.
are just songs with no. You can't always get the
Yeah.
story. They're just songs, and that's what Cats is. There is no story. It's just
There's
songs.
There's no dialogue. There's
So-
just songs. So that'll tell you whether or not
right,
you're
you
gonna
like it, and then you can be like, oh yeah, these songs are fun. Oh, and then you get there okay, it's just the songs. It's almost like a Cats concert.
It really is.
That's what it is, kind of.
It's based on this book of poems.
So here's what I'm saying is that I come from I didn't like the musical, so I would have said from the beginning, if someone said, should we greenlight Cats? I'd be like, do not make a Cats movie.
No.
For one thing, you need a storyline in a movie. If you want someone to sit in a dark for an hour and a half and watch a screen, I need a storyline. There's no storyline to Cats. This is ridiculous. What are you trying to do here? And how are you going to make them cats? That's what I would have said. Des would have said, no, don't, because I love this Cats. Don't ruin it with the movie that isn't going to be good with the CGI stuff. We both would have said no.
You know that someone somewhere loves cats like I love cats and thought this was going to be a good idea to incorporate new technology and new stuff into making this movie that maybe the young generation will love it like I love it. And they just went awry. It just went, no, let it be what it is. If people don't love it, they don't love it. They don't have to love it. It's okay. Right. You changing it did not make it better.
You just make the people who like it upset, and the people who don't like it saying, oh, this is what I told you. Don't. This movie's horrible.
Exactly.
So it didn't please anybody. And it was, even in itself, of it being a reproduction of this thing with no storyline, it was a bad job of doing it.
That's what I'm saying. It was bad.
It's just bad. And I was telling Des, like, if you like Motherless Brooklyn, okay. If you like Lighthouse, okay. There's not a person who
likes cats, who likes this movie of Cats. There is not a person. There is not.
If you liked Cats, comment below so we know that you're real. Because we don't think they're out there.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's all. And
It is the least favorite movie of 2019.
Yeah. And I don't think you can argue with it.
No, you can't.
And it was easy to pick, and that's I feel like, in a way, like, oh, we picked the easy thing, but it's just because, honestly,
it really was the worst.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Let us know what your least favorite movies were.
Please.
That'd be really fun.
Yes.
To see your comments. We'd love to see your comments.
Comment if your least favorite is not Cats. Like, maybe you didn't see Cats, and you have a different least favorite movie.
Or maybe you saw Cats, and you're like, oh, I didn't think it was as bad as Motherless Brooklyn.
Or The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. Okay, then we can go down that road.
Yes.
Okay. Let us know.
All right.
Okay, like and subscribe to our channel.
Do that too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.